Hello and welcome. Today's reading is for Virgo for February 2023. Welcome to the table, Virgo. I have pre-shuffled the cards, but I will shuffle them again for you. I'm an intuitive reader and I read in real time. I use a 10-card spread with 5 cards along the top row, 5 cards along the bottom row. I talk about those cards as they come out. I have pre-shuffled the cards, but I will keep shuffling them. Once I've laid out that first 10 cards, I overlay those with the second 10 cards. I talk about those cards as well. I try and draw your attention to any particular aspects of the reading that I feel have particular weight. Towards the end of the reading, I give a little bit of a summary or an overview of what I've seen in the reading. I do hope you like my flowers that are fresh from the garden. I had to compete with the bees for the lavender, and the crystals have been in their salt bath. Okay, we'll begin the reading in just a few seconds. All right, let's get this reading going. First row, King of Cups, 8 of Pentacles, both in the upright position, 7 of Pentacles in the upright position, Page of Pentacles in reverse, and King of Pentacles in the reverse position. Already, Virgo, 4 Pentacles on the table. On the bottom row, we have got the 2 of Cups in reverse, 6 of Cups in reverse, 10 of Wands in reverse, 4 of Cups in reverse, and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So the whole bottom row is in reverse. Just because the cards are in reverse, don't panic. That's really not any cause for alarm. I read the cards sort of in both aspects, and I will draw your attention to any warnings or lessons I think you might need to know. So don't be alarmed just because the cards are in reverse. That doesn't mean everything's negative. I'll show you what's on the bottom of the deck. Okay, the Moon in reverse. All right. Let's start talking about these cards. We've got the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is a loving, generous, kind, nurturing sort of a person. Again, when I start talking about these as these genders on these cards, the cards are gender neutral, but they do have aspects shown on the card so that the reader can work out what sort of energy is coming off the card. King of Cups can be male or female, or they, or them, any number of sexual orientations. Okay, so don't take any offence if I say he. Now, the King of Cups knows very well how to show his love and to be kind and generous and loving and to express his love. He also would like it reciprocated. 8 of Pentacles is about hard work, but satisfaction from your hard work. So it does look like, Virgo, you've been working hard, but it also looks to me like you've been gaining some satisfaction from your hard work. Perhaps it's time to take a little rest. Perhaps you've accumulated some money. Perhaps you can afford to take a little bit of a rest. Perhaps you need to stop and remind yourself how hard you've worked and what you've achieved. Perhaps you're thinking about making an investment, and perhaps you're considering whether it's all worth it. So you've got the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is youthful energy. So a youthful energy can also be going to a new job. So perhaps you're considering that, as I said, perhaps you're considering about whether it was all worth it, and perhaps you're thinking about, maybe I'd like to do a different job. Perhaps this is not bringing me satisfaction. So, it could be any one of those things, but perhaps you're just thinking about it. It doesn't look like you're taking action. The colour red indicates the action, where the energy lies. So you're thinking about this, but it doesn't mean that you're doing anything about it. Okay, so we have got the King of Pentacles in reverse. So this King of Pentacles is quite abundant. As you can see, he's got quite a lot of, he's in a very secure position, a little bit rigid perhaps in his thinking about money. It's in the reverse aspect, so I do suggest perhaps, Virgo, you'll overly thinking about money, or if you are thinking about money, perhaps you're thinking about it and trying to control it a little bit too tightly. You can see that this king has worked very hard for his money. That's indicated by the bunches of grapes hanging around him. So he has worked hard. He's very focused on his money, but normally he would be also focused on utilizing his money to get what he wants. He may be interested in buying houses or cars or going on holidays or having just a nice quality lifestyle. So in the reverse aspect, it's perhaps suggesting that you're a little bit rigid, and as you can see, and that's indicated by that armor on the foot, that perhaps he's being a little bit rigid in his thinking. He's sitting on a stone throne. So maybe your thinking about money is a little bit fixed. Perhaps you've accumulated money. It looks like you've worked very hard for it, though. You do need to congratulate yourself for your hard work. Perhaps you're even thinking about investments, or perhaps you thought about it and have decided against it. Either way, I'll leave those cards there. This is about partnerships or a love energy. It could be, just a love energy. Perhaps it's underneath the King of Cups. So maybe a new energy coming towards you. Perhaps it's a little bit delayed. Perhaps you're delaying it. Perhaps you're going slow. Perhaps you've already met somebody, but you're deciding to go very slowly. Maybe they focus too much on their money. That could be the case. But we'll work that out. Maybe they're too busy going to work and haven't got enough time for you. We'll have a look. The problem is with achieving good wealth, you often have to work very hard and be very committed. So, if you're in a new love relationship, perhaps, or maybe not even a new love relationship, perhaps you're feeling that they spend too much time at work. Okay, we have got, this is the nostalgia card. Thinking about families, thinking about good times when you were young, youthful energy, youthful love, perhaps thinking about a past love, perhaps thinking about relatives who've passed over, friends who've left town. This is anything to do with nostalgia. This can be somebody bringing you a small gift, somebody that you haven't connected with for a little while perhaps, who comes to visit and brings you a gift. It can be any number of those things. Got the Ten of Wands. So this is about carrying heavy burdens, some responsibility or burden, and that could be work. Perhaps, like I said, perhaps you're thinking about here, taking a pause. He's got a staff there too, leaning on the staff. Perhaps working is becoming a burden or has become a burden. Perhaps you feel like you deserve a holiday. Perhaps you've been so busy working, you haven't given yourself a break. And here you're thinking about it. Here you're wondering whether it's worth continuing. But this burden is a number 10, so hopefully soon you'll be able to put those burdens down. Because a 10, it tends to talk about, a 10 talks about endings. But it's in the reverse, so the ending is perhaps a little bit delayed. Four of Cups. As you can see, this person's got their head down. They don't see this new opportunity. See, the cosmos is handing them a beautiful new cup. They're not really happy or satisfied with any of those cups either. They're not even looking at them. They haven't spilt them. They haven't tasted the wine in those cups. Certainly not interested in that cup. So this is somebody who's perhaps not engaged with life fully. Under the Page of Pentacles, it's highly likely that you have disengaged slightly with life and that you are wondering whether it's worth the effort, whether you'd like to continue in the same job. And I'd say perhaps there's a little bit of disappointment here. Perhaps you feel like you've been working too hard. This energy here suggests to me that you haven't stopped enough to have a little bit of a break, or that you haven't appreciated all that you've achieved, or that you're not terribly happy to continue with what you're doing. It does look like you've worked very hard. It does look like you've put the energy in to achieve what you wanted to achieve. But somehow, maybe you're holding on too tightly to that amount of money. Now that you've got it, you realise how much hard work you put into getting it, and you are reluctant to let it go. We do have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune, a major arcana card, that tells me that there's going to be changes. It's in the reverse position, so there definitely will be changes, but they're probably coming slowly. But this is, the card here tells me that, the cosmos, as you can see, it's up in the clouds here. The cosmos will bring a change. So it may be a little bit delayed. Now we've got here, overall here, this moon energy. This moon energy is about perhaps not being very realistic, daydreaming. It could be nightmares. It could be worries in the night, worrying about your money perhaps, trying to find that middle path between earning money and spending it. This crab here and this lobster here, he has to find the middle path between the dog and the wolf, and between those two towers. He has to come out of the water and onto the land. It's in the reverse position, so it says to me that you're not able to find that balance, that you're not balancing, and perhaps you're not, maybe you're dreaming and maybe spending too much time dreaming, or perhaps you're not being very realistic. That could be the case, but there's no balance here between what's reality, in other words, your daytime or your conscious mind, and your subconscious mind. So it's about trying to find that balance. Let's have a look what's going on. This is a beautiful card right at the beginning though, so that's rather interesting, but it does look like some sort of a delay here if this is a new person coming into your life. And it could be just a delay with you being committed to this person, or maybe somebody has come in offering love and you don't feel ready. Maybe you're nostalgic for the past, or somebody different, a different type of person. But I do suggest you keep your mind open and have a look at this opportunity, this new cup, this new energy coming in, before you dismiss it. Okay? Maybe you've had too many responsibilities to engage with somebody new. Let's clarify some of these cards and see what we can come up with, Virgo. It does actually look like, because it's right in the middle here, it does look like you've had some heavy responsibilities or some heavy burdens to carry. It does feel that way too. It feels quite weighty. And that would mean that sometimes when you've been carrying a lot of burdens, you kind of haven't got the energy to sort of even look at those opportunities. That can happen too. That can happen. Let's have a look at this King of Cups. Two of Pentacles. Okay. This is juggling to make a decision. Okay. Especially if you're thinking about travelling overseas. Now, the reason I'm mentioning the overseas, can you see the boat here, the red boat over there? And this has got ships as well. So this can be thinking about travel, or even juggling an opportunity, a new opportunity, thinking about a new opportunity. So it can be any one of those things. And this is a little bit of toing and froing. Can you see he's got different coloured shoes on? Yes, I will. No, I won't. Yes, I will. No, I won't. If I do this, I can't have that. If I do this, I can't do that. It's that kind of energy. And even here, and I've never drawn any correlation here before, but he's got two different objects in one hand. How much weight will I put on this one? How much weight will I give to that one? Is there a balance? So it's some sort of a juggling that you're going through, some consideration or an offer or decision to be made. Let's have a look at this Eight of Pentacles. A very industrious card, the Eight of Pentacles. Very focused, stable, industrious, you know, being committed to your job without thinking about anything else other than doing the job, being quite content with that job and working hard at it. Ooh, Ten of Swords. Ooh, did something happen at work? Was something said to you? Ooh, that looks like a painful ending. Were you suddenly dismissed? Something's come to an end all of a sudden by the looks of it, or will come to an end. This looks painful. Perhaps a decision's been made in your workplace. You know, you could have been made redundant. There could have been a merger with another company and they lay off lots of staff. Whatever it is, it looks like it feels painful. It's just floored you by the looks of it. But it's definitely an ending of some sort. Okay, no wonder we've gone down to the 7 here. Now you're probably wondering what to do. What am I going to do? Okay, let's have a look. I may be wrong, but that's definitely the feeling I'm getting. Something's happened at work. Now, somebody's either been highly critical of you, or the constant criticism is getting you down, when obviously you've been very committed to your work. Maybe you've had a boss who's been constantly criticising and not valuing what you do. That's possible as well. Or you've been dismissed. Whatever that is, that looks quite painful. And if you've been criticised constantly by your boss, there's not much point working there anyway, because you become demoralised after a while, and that's very much this energy here. Becoming demoralised. Okay, I'm going to take this because this really popped out. I hadn't actually asked for it. Normally I wouldn't take them, but it's here. It's got this sort of feeling of, I wish I was happy. You know, the expression on his face is, I'm not quite sure. It's an uncertainty. But the 7 is always a little bit of, with the 7 card, there's always a little bit of luck. So don't lose hope. Maybe everything's not here right now, right at the moment. Maybe you're feeling quite sad, and it does feel that way. These can represent tears as well. These little droplets of water can represent tears. Perhaps something has completely knocked your socks off and made you feel quite sad. And normally this would be the card of peace and happiness. So it could be some sort of a delay here with your peace and happiness, and that could be if you've suddenly been dismissed or laid off, or you know, you just feel you can't keep going with this particular job. Then perhaps what you were aiming for, perhaps if you were aiming to be very comfortably off, maybe that's left you feeling a little bit sad. Let's have a look at this Page of Pentacles. This is a very receptive card, and that can be your expectations. But you know, if there is something that's happened to you that actually feels quite painful, allow yourself that time and recognize that those sorts of things that happen, if you've had a dismissal or, you know, a lot of criticism, you could have a yearly review and the criticism has been harsh. that can leave you feeling very wounded. You do accept the fact that you are entitled to feel wounded. You need to recognise that within yourself, because if you push it down, it comes back later. So you're better off just spending a little bit of time acknowledging that pain and that lack of fulfillment, the lack of happiness, and that can be a lack of happiness too with what you've been going through. Let's have a look. Apologise for the noise. We've got a helicopter flying over from the local hospital. Let's have a look at this Page of Pentacles. Okay. Rather interesting. We've got the celebrations with friends. That's interesting. That doesn't really match anything on the table that I'm seeing. Perhaps you've been out partying. Perhaps you've decided you're going to have a party anyway, and that might be the best solution. Let's have a look. And perhaps, this party might be, it can be anything. You might be a birthday that you're celebrating. You might be sort of coming of age, or you might be, you can be celebrating one of your magic number birthdays. It can be anything. You might have just decided to have some nice time with your family and friends. This is usually just friends, having a lovely time with your friends. Let's see what the King of Pentacles wants. That's a fairly plain card. I don't think I need to give that any more space. And again, this page is young, so that's a youthful energy. So I'm assuming that you're relatively young and just having a nice time with your friends. Let's have a look at this King of Cups. Perhaps you were hoping to be wealthy quicker. That's another thing. Employers don't always reward hard work. Sometimes they're looking for something different in someone. Let's have a look at the King of Pentacles. There's two, so I'm taking the two. They don't want to separate, so we'll have a look what's there. Okay. They're both in the upright position, so you've got strength. Needing to gather your strength. Okay. So that one's fairly straightforward. That's inner strength. Inner strength. Gathering your inner strength, which is rather interesting. I'll just pause for a moment because I do need to show you. You can see the lemniscate, the infinity symbol here up on her head. Once you gather your inner strength, and you can gather that from the cosmos, pulled from within yourself, pulled from the things that you know about yourself, and don't let other people make you feel doubt about yourself, because criticism can damage you. And as you can see here on this Two of Pentacles, there's the lemniscate again. Anything is possible. Don't doubt yourself. Put your energy all in one place rather than you can't really always put your energy. That's one thing I can say here. You can't put your energy in two places if you want to make a big positive move forward. Sometimes you need to be focused. You can't be a little bit of, I'll put some energy here and I'll put some energy there. That doesn't always work. Sometimes you need to be more committed. And then you've got the Three of Wands. Oh my goodness, again, you've got the boats. So this is stepping out beyond where you are, okay? This is actually deciding to take action. So perhaps you've gathered your strength and you're deciding to take action. You've got three cards on the table that talk about travel. So I think that's fairly clear. So that is the possibility of travel. Definitely broadening your horizons, and perhaps moving on. It's quite a strong, as much as the card is small and looks plain, it's a very positive and strong energy. Okay, you've also got the three here, so you've got 2 3s on the table already. 3s are quite a prosperous card. Perhaps you're, pardon me, perhaps having a little bit of a farewell party. I'm going overseas. You're going to have a little party with your friends. That's possible. Let's have a look. Perhaps you've needed to use your money, or you're going to a position where you hope to get more money. Don't be make sure you're under no illusion about if you are going overseas to earn more money. Make sure you check your facts. Maybe sometimes the money seems good, but maybe the cost of living can be very high in your new destination. Usually wages tend to be balanced with either the conditions that you're going to or the cost of living within that country or that location. You know, sometimes the conditions can be, say for example, you're going to work in Saudi Arabia, in the desert, it can be hot and maybe the heat might kill you. The cost of living there will be high even if the wages are high. So that's the kind of decision sometimes that people make without considering that the cost of living in the new place may be equally high. I'm not trying to put you off a decision, it's just because that moon is there, I need to draw attention those sorts of things that perhaps you haven't considered. Let's have a look at this Two of Cups. That's rather interesting because with all this talk of travel, perhaps you've broken up a relationship to say, you know, but I'd like to travel, I'd like to do this, and perhaps that's caused a rift in your relationship if you were in a relationship. That could well be the case. Let's have a look at and it's rather interesting too, this is also, as you can see, you've got the lion's head there above the two. You've got the lion here gathering your strength and the lion here. So, you know, it takes a lot of strength to stay in a committed relationship, and if you've got other plans that you'd like fulfilled, perhaps you haven't got the strength to carry the relationship and do what you need to do. Only saying these things in passing because the best way of doing these tarot readings is for you to hear what I say and you recognising the parts of the reading that relate to you. Let's have a look at this Two of Cups. Okay, Four of Cups again. It's not making you feel good. It's not really what you want. You're feeling a bit down in the dumps perhaps. Maybe the relationship has gone a bit sour. Perhaps the other person's walked away or the other person's not interested. But it's showing that there's some dissatisfaction here. Dissatisfaction. And it looks more like dissatisfaction rather than... it's not a grief card so much as sort of not putting your energy out there. It's sort of like, you know, you're closed off. You've shut down. You're not engaged. Okay, so let's have a look at this Six of Cups. And maybe once this relationship... the relationship's turned on its head here, so I assume something's gone wrong. So perhaps you feel disengaged with life since that's gone wrong. Let's have a look. And, you know, it's possible that this Ten of Swords doesn't relate to the work. Perhaps it relates to the relationship. And maybe there's been a breakup, a separation. It is on top of the work card, so often it can be work, but because it's next to the King of Cups and because you've got the Ace of Cups here, it's highly possible that it does relate to this relationship as well. Let's have a look at this Six of Cups. Okay. Nine of Swords. So Nine of Swords is about, it's in the reverse position, so nightmares, worries, anxiety, painful thoughts, you know, the sort of things that keep you awake at night. And at night time everything always seems worse. So there could be some sort of regret here. Regret when you're thinking, you know, regret perhaps, you know, this is not really a card of regret. It's more about the sort of painful thoughts. But this is nostalgia, so painful thoughts about something that's happened in the past. And that could be the recent past, just because I'm talking February, but This reading could either be, you know, stretched out to 6 to 8 weeks, or it could be shrunk down to 2 weeks. So, you know, there's no real time scale with a tarot reading, particularly not for a general tarot reading. Let's have a look at this 10 of Wands. Virgo, there does look like there's some pain on the table and some energy that's probably not great for you. It's not good to be disengaged with life, or to feel that life has nothing more to offer you. Life always has something more to offer you, and that's what this card here, the Moon, is trying to say to you. Life always has something more to offer you. Okay, 5 of Swords, don't self-sabotage, okay? You know, when you get these painful thoughts in the night, sometimes you tell yourself you're not good enough, I can't do it anyway, the boss was right, he or she was right, what they said, I'm no good, I'm no good, I'm no good. Rubbish, that's not true, don't listen to it. If your behaviour contributed to the comments that the person has made or people have made, you can go within and have a look and say, well, okay, I'll aim to address that. But don't self-sabotage to the point where you feel that you can't go forward, or that you're so disengaged with life. Everybody has good qualities. If your behaviour has been such that perhaps you've let someone down, well, you just need to accept that and wear the consequences of that. But don't self-sabotage. Don't listen to the criticism so deeply that it stops you from functioning, because that's what criticism can do. Let's have a look. So it does look to me like there's been some painful words here. Okay, let's have a look at this 4 of Cups. 2, okay, I'm taking 2 because they stuck together like glue. Ooh, okay, you've got the Devil and the Moon, right. Both in the reverse position. Devil, often attachments, addictions, drug addictions, sex addictions, alcohol addiction. It can be, you know, playing too many games on the computer, gaming addictions. It can be any kind of addiction, addictions to overwork, addictions to all sorts of things. It means overcommitment. Rather, the word addiction is really about overcommitment, focusing too much time and energy on one thing, or perhaps not standing up for yourself, having given away your power. It's in the reverse position. Then you've got the Moon, under some kind of illusion. Again, you've got the Moon card here. You've already got the Moon card twice. So both of these cards, again, you have to find a balance here, okay? Perhaps you were committed to working too hard. Let's just use the work scenario as the one that we can talk about. You know, if it's something else, you need to go inside yourself and figure out what it is that's causing you to be not utilising your life for your highest good, for your best interests, because that's what this card is telling me. That you're doing something or attached to something that is not in your highest good. I'll hold this card up because look at the pictures and then see how the connections are made. Because those nooses around the neck or the chains around the neck can be removed. You need to decide, have you given away your power to someone? Have you been overcommitted to something? The Moon here is asking you to go inside yourself. Again, it's in the reverse position. So it tells me that you're not seeing the whole picture, or not willing to look at the whole picture. Something is hidden from you. Okay? You're either not willing to see something, or you can't see something. Ask yourself some more questions, and don't self-sabotage, okay? Don't just take the pain on your back without asking in which way, you know, how has it affected you? Who has affected you? In what way have they affected you? Then you start to find the way through it. Let's have a look at this Wheel of Fortune. I'm not trying to lecture you, by the way, Virgo. I'm just trying to show you what the cards are saying. This is not a lecture. This is not a judgment or a criticism. Again, in case you feel like I'm criticising you, I'm not. I'm just reading what the cards are saying and what I see. And I'm hoping that you can see what I'm seeing when I show you the cards. Let's have a look at this Wheel of Fortune. top one off the mat. Oh, the Lovers. Okay. Oh, we got two. Okay. Okay, the Lovers is about, it can be about a soul connection or somebody that you cared about and loved very much. But in which case, that connection needs to lift up, constantly be lifting each other up. Once you start taking that connection for granted, once you start not being committed to that relationship, it is no longer the Lovers, because this is traditionally like a soulmate relationship, a soulmate connection. Well, that requires commitment. There's a mountain in the background. It requires commitment. That's hard work. That's climbing. That means gathering your strength constantly to stay in that relationship. Now, if that becomes too hard or you're not prepared to put the effort in, then it turns into something that becomes a weight around your neck. Again, you've got, this is almost the exact opposite of this card. Okay? Can you see the similarities? There's three people in each card, like a devil and an angel. Two people committed to each other or chained to each other. But if it's become a burden to stay committed, maybe it's not meant for you. And again, here we've got the High Priestess. This is, again, it's a very similar energy to the Moon, but not quite the same. This is telling me that you're not listening or not engaging with your higher intuition. Perhaps you've only got half the picture, half the knowledge. Again, these are cards. There are so many cards here on the table that are talking about half the picture. Here you've got the Devil, you've got the Moon, you've got the Lovers. Even the Five of Swords got two people in this connection, where it's possible that, the connection is not a nice connection. This can talk to me about perhaps you're not listening to your inner voice enough. Perhaps you need to listen to your inner voice to see where things have gone wrong. And again, you can see the Moon on there. That is also reminding you that perhaps you don't know everything that is that you need to know about this. What's on the table here, if it's a relationship, and perhaps there's a third party involved. The Devil can indicate a third party involved. Perhaps there's been a little bit of, went to a party and just thought you could get away with something, or, somebody thought they could get away with a bit of a casual fling and it's damaged a relationship. That's possible too. But like I said, don't self-sabotage. Whatever you do, if you're nostalgic about something, don't criticise yourself to the point where you feel worthless. You're not worthless. Sometimes we just need to reassess. I will show you the bottom of the deck. Can't see what you're seeing. Ace of Swords. Okay, it's in the reverse. I'd say in this case, it's probably a separation of some sort. Mainly because, in the upright position it would be finding out the truth or knowing the truth. But because it's on the Moon and in reverse, I think you still don't know the truth. So perhaps you need to ask some more questions and perhaps look at what your gut is telling you. This whole reading may have been not about money, it may have been about a love connection that you worked hard at initially and perhaps got complacent. Like I said, please don't shoot the messenger and please don't criticise me for the reading. I'm just reading what I see on the table. But it does look like there's going to be change soon. Something's going to change soon, but you do need to go within yourself and maybe ask the questions that you haven't yet asked. Maybe look in the mirror and see the aspects of you that you don't even, we've all got a shadow side. We don't always like we don't always like all of ourselves either. So, that this card here is asking you to take a good look inside your subconscious mind and try and find a balance between that and your conscious and your subconscious mind. I'm going to leave it there, Virgo. It does look like maybe you've endured some pain or you're going to endure some pain in this month. But hopefully this reading will help you see what's going on or help you to find a way to focus on addressing the problems that come before you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now. I do hope you enjoyed the crystals and the flowers. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.